Hi there, I'm Cullen Haynes and welcome to Law Live. It's been a while, episode 20, but we are back. My next guest is a true powerhouse in every sense of the word, over 31 years in both banking and law, and now the director of Crescent 11 Consulting. Can you please make very welcome my dear friend, Mr. Mario Kardum. I call him Super Mario. How are you, Mario?
Good, Cullen. How are you?
Mate, all the better for hearing your dulcet tones and having you on our Law Live today, my friend. How does it feel? Like teaching and nursing are probably the most loved professions. I'm in banking and law, probably the most hated professions. How is it working in those two fields, mon ami?
Well, it builds resilience, put it that way. It absolutely builds resilience, and I believe I've got plenty of it now, given the experience I've got. So, yeah.
Of course. Well, to those in your networking as well, like you need no introduction. Tell me what's happening in your circle of influence right now.
Yeah, look, there's heaps. If I can put it that way, it's a really interesting environment. There is a level of dare I say uncertainty out there. People are looking to work with that uncertainty in their own ways. And I guess I'm being brought in on many fronts for different reasons, and
yes,
trying to work in various ways with clients just to break through that uncertainty to some degree, managing a whole stack of things within businesses, providing some consulting and some advice really to what they could do, what they should consider doing. Just generally working with a great bunch of clients that I've got, both big and small.
So a lot in the mergers and acquisition space when they're onboarding new firms and other entities and whatnot, like people don't come to you when they're broken, when they want to scale and they want to take it to the next level.
Yeah, there's a level of people, as I said before, the uncertainty is leading to people wanting to look at who's out there that they could work with, combine forces with. So some are on the acquisition path and want to actually acquire. Others are on the path of looking to be acquired. So it's actually trying to find like-minded firms that are at maybe different stages in their cycle for different reasons, wanting to do a transaction that works for both. And then you've got the opposite, which is the merger side, where two firms aren't necessarily big enough or don't necessarily want to take a lead and are happy to share, if you like, the benefits of two businesses or two brands coming together, more on a merged, equal sort of basis, if you like. Plenty of discussion, plenty of activity in that merge space at this point in time.
Great. Do you love what you're doing at the moment, and do you love what you do every day?
I do. I absolutely love what I do. Working with clients, just I love people, Cullen. That's my thing in life. I really like to engage with people and work with them on the basis that they want to be worked with. People are absolutely the most critical part of a law firm. So it's no wonder that I really enjoy that time working with law firms, to some degree other professional services firms. So it is a great thing. I've been in law for 11 years now, consulting for the last 3. So I think that says enough. Yeah.
Good on you. Well, it's all about people. It is a people business law, and there's a thing called quiet quitting going on where people do the bare minimum. But I read somewhere from Professor Gary Martin in WA today about quiet thriving, where people are doing the bare minimum to have a life outside of work. I don't know if your scope helps energize teams to get them back to, putting, their heart and soul back into the work, or what are you seeing from the employee side that, a firm's worried about their employee presenteeism at the moment, or what's the story on that side?
Yeah, I guess that's a big area for a lot of firms. There's a lot of attention around that particular area. Firms are trying to do things that engage their existing staff and also attract new staff. So there's a massive, fight for talent out there at the moment. Retaining your best people is critical, but attracting the best talent is also critical, especially if you do want to grow your business. So, that thriving piece, there's a whole lot of activity around what more do people want? What are they looking for? Some people want financial type incentives. Others want lifestyle type incentives, flexibility type incentives, and it's not a one thing fits all type scenario. It's different people, different drivers, and firms are really responding to that. So they're not just saying we can offer you this. They're actually taking the time, certainly the firms I'm working with, to actually understand what people want. Yeah, well, what's the desire, and attempting to deliver on that. So 4-day weeks, for example, I'm hearing a lot more often.
Yes.
As being something that's driving
4-day weeks. My goodness.
We talk about overseas markets like France and the Swedes and whatnot. Even the Kiwis in some cases are trialing 4-day weeks across some companies, and it seems to be working. I haven't seen a lot of data around that, to be honest, to be able to comment on it so much, but it certainly seems to be something that is on the agenda of people at the moment.
Look, they come out with great music, the Swedes, and I'm a big ABBA fan. So no doubt this 4-day week, there's something to it, let me tell you.
Maybe that music talent of yours, Cullen, could come out on that 5th day.
Let's see, my friend. But in terms of the main problems, like obviously people are scared with these rising rates. What are businesses coming to you now? What's their main problem, would you say?
Look, I guess it's a mixture, operational issues, business planning issues, so strategy, developing strategy, cash flow issues is a big one, and that's obviously driven, as you say, by interest rates and the fact that things are a bit more expensive these days across the board. Every touch point, if you like, within a business leads to some sort of opportunity to review it. To work with clients that think that there's room for improvement. It's obviously trying to highlight what those areas are, do a cost-benefit analysis around it. But what I do like to do, and I do push quite a bit, is the need for a business to have a business plan and to know where they're heading, where they want to go. And if they know that, that's a brilliant start. And then you can start lining up the ducks to make sure that they all go down the path of achieving that business plan. And, you'll know what your challenges are. So you need to do a SWOT. So a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats analysis. So I do a lot of that work with clients. We establish the needs, as I say, prioritize them, and then look to deliver on those. Fantastic.
Well, we've already got people all over the world tuning in for this one there, Mario. We've got Charles Caldwell saying greetings from Hong Kong. Greetings, Charles. He's CEO and head of HR where he is. So very important topic indeed. So great job.
Absolutely.
In terms of obviously got the problems on one side, is there any passion projects you're working on to help with those, or any passion projects in general you're working on right now, Mario?
Look, I guess that as I said before, the merger and acquisition space is really picking up. There's a lot of interest and a lot of activity in that space. So I am working on various opportunities in that space at the moment, and seeking out obviously firms that may want to connect with each other, and me being the person that can get involved and support that happening. So to be honest, I love that because it brings challenges with it in the fact that two businesses aren't exactly the same. They've got their similarities, no doubt, but they've also got their differences. And in my role, it's bringing them together around a table, working through some of the challenges that they raise, reasons why they wouldn't want to merge or proceed with an acquisition, but trying to overcome those hurdles, if you like, is something that I'm passionate about. If I see a transaction that's worthy of proceeding with, I'll certainly pursue it and make sure that no stone's unturned, so that the opportunity to benefit for everyone isn't missed. So that's where my key passion is at the moment.
Good man. And I would encourage people, this is alive. It is now 4:11 Australian Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, the 1st of March. If you have any burning questions for Mario, very rare that you'll get him in a setting like this. Put them in the comments I'm sure if it's something a little bit more sensitive to your firm, I'm sure Mario would welcome a cheeky DM or PM in there. So please get in touch with Mario while we're talking.
Absolutely.
what would you like to see change in law, Mario?
Look, something that's pretty close to my heart, having managed law firms myself in a CEO and a group general manager capacity. I've got this real drive in me that I want lawyers and law firms to really hone in on the business of law versus the practice of law.
Okay.
I think there's a huge emphasis on the practice of law, which there clearly needs to be, because we're talking about law firms delivering for their clients. But I think the biggest opportunity is in the business of law, how the law firm is run and how people contribute to its running. Law firms are different, are they? I guess I take the view that law firms are a business, and it's people at the core, but there's a whole lot of things that make the business or the law firm work. A lot of moving parts, and understanding what those factors are that can actually give you an edge, that can make things more efficient, that can make things more productive, that can make lawyers' lives easier. So the use of technology or AI or interaction with clients, engagement with clients, on what basis do they want to be interacted with? And going back to what I said before, not all clients want to be engaged on the same basis. So it's actually understanding that. But you need to have the systems and processes and procedures behind you to be able to, work in an environment that has a different engagement process for different clients. So what would I love to see different is a greater emphasis on the business of law as compared to the practice of law. So that's my view on the world of law.
No, I'm indeed by what you're saying there, Mario. And quite often I'm met with a lot of my legal clients who come to us when they've either been called to the bar or starting their law practice, sole prac, or building it up multi-person. And they say that they're not really taught business in law school, but they're taught the technical foundations of law. Do you think that they could get a better start, lawyers, by getting the foundations of business or any business school during that formative time? I
do. I think that there's, you go back to the universities and, other forms of study, if you like, and there doesn't tend to be that emphasis on, the business side of things, the business practicalities, providing some core business fundamentals so that people have got, the ability to understand why success can be delivered in different ways. Again, going back to the business plan, building a business plan and then being able to deliver on it. So it's I think it's fundamental that, the system that is the education system at an earlier stage in people's careers and whilst they're studying, get exposure to a lot more of those business fundamentals. And look, not a huge amount of detail, but something that at least spurs them to want to understand it better. And I just think that leads to a better interaction and a better understanding for employees with employers. And it also provides a much, much better pathway for the upcoming principals and people that will have equity in firms one day. You want to have them prepared and ready for the challenges that lie ahead. You can be a great lawyer, dare I say, but you may be challenged by that business side. And I wouldn't want people to shy away from achieving, both excellence on the practicing of law side as well as, the management and or running and or operating or owning a law firm. So the balance needs to be a little bit better, in my view.
Very well said there, Mario. What's one major lesson you'd like people tuning in with to walk away with as a professional or a lawyer?
Look, as I go around and work with various lawyers and law firms, I tend to see that people are not managing their work and they're being managed by their work. And the lesson for me, or if the thing I could share with people in regards to that is, there is ways to manage that busyness. And you know, I think if you don't manage your work, it will invariably manage you. And I just think that leads to people that are, you know, exhausted, a little bit frustrated, and they have to sacrifice quite a bit. And that could be time away from family, time away from friends, travel time. And yet I think you can achieve all those things, have a lot more time or enough more time in your life, but yet still achieve some great results, if not exceed budget and also other things. So, yeah, I love the fact that lawyers are so competitive and want to, you know, do so well. It's a great trait. I just sometimes think that, yeah, again, that balance to some degree, you know, for some it might be a big change. For others, it might be a slight change.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point that you make there, Mario. And out of the firms you work with, how many of them do you think really care about their people and providing them with the benefits you were talking about, like, you know, great perks, obviously strong salaries, great perks, and a great environment, great culture? Because, you know, there's those firms that, you know, just play lip service to it, just tick the box. And there's other firms that really care about it.
Yeah, look, I think there's a real desire. I think on all firms, I honestly must say, the firms that I've come across, there's nobody that doesn't want to do the right thing.
Yes.
I guess for me, it comes down to what is that right thing, and are they actually achieving what they're intending to achieve?
Yes.
As they say, you know what you don't know, you know what you know, but sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And the fact that you can bring someone in from the outside to actually assess what you're doing, I think can play a big part in getting it better. Not maybe perfect, but certainly better. And I think genuinely firms out there, you know, are wanting to do the right thing by their employees, by all their staff.
Well, that's good.
A genuine interest in it. So I don't think that's the issue. I just think sometimes, are they quite hitting the mark? And how do they assess that? Some external support can be beneficial.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if anyone's looking to add value to their firm, look no further than Mario, and he can put you in touch with those people. Well done. I always end on a bit of a philosophical note there, Mario. When all is said and done, and you know, you eventually leave this mortal coil, how would you like to be remembered, mon ami?
Look, I'd like to be remembered as a patient but persistent contributor to outcomes. If I could put it in that sentence, I've got a lot of patience. One thing I've learned over time is, you know, you're not going to get things right all the time immediately, and sometimes you got to practice things. Yeah, you got to try things, and they're called learnings. They're not called failures. And but you've got to have patience, and I think you've got to have the patience to be able to overcome some of the hits and knocks that you get along the way. And persistence helps a lot. You know, you really do need to persist. Your clients need you to persist as well, and push them along, and you know, those two things together make a big difference to getting the outcomes. Yeah. So sometimes someone wants to do something within 6 months. You know, it may take a bit longer than that. And outcomes are critical. Yeah, you do want to have something to be able to measure against your involvement, and I guess the outcomes are where that comes into play. So if people remember me for those two P's, patience and persistence, then I think I've achieved my goal, especially as long as we also achieve outcomes that are obviously the desired ones, which may change along the way. Callum,
of course.
On the journey, you think that's the right path to go, but halfway there you realise that maybe it's not the right path. You might come up hurdles. You might need to go a different way. Again, that's where some of that patience comes into play.
Mario Kardum, a patient and persistent man.
Yes.
I like it. Oh, well, it's been an absolute honor to have you on our show, albeit briefly, my friend, but we'll bring you back on for some bonus questions. But where can people find you? Where are you hanging out most, my man? Where are you at?
Look, via LinkedIn, obviously, just reach out through people like you. Obviously, I'm part of, the legal experts network, if you like. So mingling with a whole lot of people and delivering, services sometimes on a joint basis. So I certainly can't deliver all of what people are wanting. So from time to time, there is an opportunity to work with other experts and on a combined basis, deliver some great outcomes. So out and about, but LinkedIn, on my phone, Cullen, happy for you to share my phone number, and as long as people don't call me on a Sunday 8 p.m. or something like that.
Absolutely. No, available within a strict time frame. So I'll put that in the comments, my friend. But thank you so much for joining us today, Mario. It's a pleasure.
No, very, very welcome. It's great to be on board and talking with somebody like yourself who's got plenty of experience in these circles and sharing some of my experiences with yourself and your audience. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you, sir. It's all about elevation through education. And we come live every Wednesday, talking to a legend of law. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll upload this to the podcast later today. Bye for now, everyone. Take care. Mario, bringing you back, mon ami. First bonus question. If you could explain your role to a 6-year-old child, how are you going to explain what you do to them?
Oh, that's a difficult one, Cullen. Never quite given that enough thought, but keeping it simple, helping and assisting in ways that people believe that they can benefit from that help and assistance. So, you've got me at that one. Yeah, trying to break that down to call it the basics, and literally, help and assistance.
Help and assistance. I like it. That's it. You should wear a white t-shirt with like a red in the middle, red cross. You're just helping people. Come on. And if this one's one of my favorites, a bit esoteric. If you could give yourself advice at any age, Mario, what advice would it be, and what age would you be?
I'd be giving myself the advice. I did write this down. Passion. Work out what you've got a passion in life for, and do that. And do that for the vast majority of your life, and you'll live one very happy life. So if you're not quite passionate about what you're doing and don't understand quite why you're doing it, I think you need to get on with finding out what it is that you are ultimately passionate about. When would I suggest I would have said that to myself or given myself that advice? It'll be very early on in life. Most probably somewhere, I'd say, in my mid-20s, because I think sometimes you just got to let people go through their journey and stumble a bit here and there. But somewhere in the mid-20s might be the right age for that sort of advice.
Mid-20s. Very well said, my friend. Well, thanks again for joining. We'll upload these to the podcast, and I'm looking forward to tuning in again very soon with you, sir.
Thank you for having me on once again. Be well.
Thanks so much. Be well, my man.